Islam's choke must be otherworldly. I talked to DC about it, and I said, hey man, I go, his squeeze must, he goes, oh, dope.
Never felt someone control me in that way. Nobody's ever done this to me.
I had him demonstrate a choke on me, and I thought it was gonna be fun. You know, like, show me how you do that. Show me how you do it. He goes, dude. When he grabbed a hold of me, I was like, oh shit, this guy's gonna choke me.
There's been moments where we're in practice, and I'm going with Khabib or Islam, and I'm the big guy. So generally, a smaller guy gets on top of you. When you decide it's over, you just throw him off of you. Yep. I'm grappling with Islam once, and I try to throw him off of me, but he's still there. And so then I give him a little harder shove, and he's still there. Next thing you know, I'm grappling at 100% because the dude's that strong.
And that's DC.
Yeah, DC's a thick bastard. Daniel Cormier couldn't hide his surprise when he noticed how heavily the betting markets favored Islam Makhachev against Jack Della Maddalena.
JDM don't wrestle, but he was defending well, and he puts damage on you.
Off rip.
Starts putting damage on you, and he can box.
So how do you see that fight with him and Islam? Does he have the ability to beat a guy like Islam?
He'll get takedown attempts coming at him very early. This time. The last fight, he didn't have to deal with that when he was fresh. If Islam can start to pressure him early and take him down early, or even just make him wrestle, he might struggle. I don't know that he's ever felt anything like he's going to feel, because it's not going to be double legs and single legs with Islam. It's going to be him playing with his feet, tripping him, moving around on the octagon side, doing things that he don't recognize as freely.
But she didn't answer the question.
The problem is, like, I can only give you that because I can't truly make a prediction. The job doesn't allow it.
To him, the matchup seemed far closer than the odds makers were suggesting, especially after watching Maddalena dethrone Belal Muhammad earlier in the year. That 5-round victory didn't just secure the Australian a championship belt, it showcased also the kind of complete performance that made many in the MMA community believe he had arrived as one of the division's biggest threats. Yet despite that, Islam's status as a former lightweight champion appeared to overshadow Jack's momentum, creating numbers that didn't quite add up for Cormier. The reason behind Cormier's skepticism was simple. He had seen how much larger Makhachev had grown since preparing for welterweight. Physically, the Dagestani looked bigger than ever, but Cormier pointed out that sheer size wouldn't be enough to get through an opponent like Jack. Maddalena, in his eyes, was a monster of the division, tough, physical, and now equipped with the takedown defense needed to survive against elite grapplers.
Jack Della Maddalena is a great fight. Della Maddalena surprised me in this fight with Belal Muhammad. Like, he just showed that he's much better than people gave him credit for. He's so well-rounded, so skilled. Makhachev, though, bigger, will have an ability to not be cutting all the weight. He'll be more full. He'll be more like fresh. I'm interested. I think that it'll come down to the wrestling of Islam versus Jack's takedown defense, and how stingy is he going to be able to be with Islam? Because when Islam can take guys down early, they really struggle. The only time a fight even looks competitive is when they can defend takedowns and he spends large amounts of time on his feet, which he does really well too.
Philip Rowe, analyzing the same matchup, doesn't hesitate in throwing his support behind Maddalena. He felt the Australian size and striking strength were a perfect recipe to overwhelm Makhachev. In Rowe's mind, Islam had dominated opponents at 155 pounds largely because of his control and physicality, but stepping into welterweight meant he would no longer be the bigger man in the cage. Against someone like Jack, who had shown both recovery and finishing instincts, the Dagestani's frame didn't seem to build to handle the natural strength of true welterweights. Rowe went as far as predicting that Maddalena could finish Islam before the fight, even touched the scorecards, his efficiency and power proving too much to handle.
Philip Rowe, what's cracking, man?
Chillin'.
Hey, now listen, you're welterweight, you've been in the game a long time. Islam moving up to 170. Is he big enough for 170?
My personal opinion, I don't think he is, but he's a champ. We'll see when he's there. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight. He's fighting the champ. That's the best 170 in the world right now, right? So we'll see.
So you don't think he has the size, but how do you think he does in a fight versus JDM?
I personally think JDM beats him. I think JDM will be able to get up if he does take him down. I don't think he'll be able to take JDM shots. I think personally he'll stop at Islam.
Dustin Poirier added a more technical take to the conversation. Having faced Islam's pressure firsthand, Poirier understood the strengths of the Dagestani's game, but he also knew the weaknesses. Makhachev's striking, while effective, often came from unusual angles that a sharp boxer could potentially exploit. Poirier suggested that if Maddalena could set the tone early, stuff the initial takedown attempts, and force Islam onto the back foot, the fight dynamic could shift dramatically.
I think we'll find out first, second round how much trouble he has getting him down. I think if he gets those takedowns, he's gonna get the win. if Jack can stop those takedowns, which he does have good takedown defense, I think the boxing and the size could wear on Islam and give him some problems. But his striking's, awkward and different. You have to worry so much about the takedown. You can't plant your feet and throw off those number combinations and really rip and sit on your punches, because he's going to change levels. So it changes the way you fight. For me, it did. I'm speaking from experience. So we'll see how Jack approaches and how Jack...
Yoel Romero also weighed in, choosing to highlight Madalena's complete game. For Romero, Jack wasn't just about punching power. His cardio, composure, and cage awareness stood out among the new wave of welterweights, and he pointed to the short-notice fight against Belal Muhammad as evidence that Jack didn't crumble under pressure, instead rising to the occasion when the spotlight was brightest. While Jack didn't possess the grinding wrestling base that defined Dagestani fighters, Romero noted that he had shown enough grit to hang with high-level grapplers and enough determination to adapt on the fly.
Yoel Romero gives his honest take. Yoel Romero just shared his thoughts on a potential showdown between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, and it's a must-hear. Romero believes that Maddalena, while being a big 170-pounder, might face a tough challenge against Makhachev's superior grappling. Do you think Jack's striking can beat Makhachev's grappling?
Max Holloway focused on Maddalena's intelligence inside the cage. He argued that what made Jack such a threat wasn't only his finishing power, but his ability to read fights and make quick adjustments in real time. According to Holloway, Maddalena's fight IQ was a rare trait that could prove crucial against someone as strategic as Islam. Both fighters carried unpredictability, and that element alone, in Holloway's view, made this matchup one of the most intriguing of the year.
How do you think Islam versus JDM goes down?
Honestly, I think Islam will probably take him down. Islam's wrestled really good. Even with me, I'm really committed to it. I took him down. Their team's so good at hacking at game plan and sticking to it.
You said that you kind of abandoned the game plan a little. You think if you got a rematch, you would change the game plan a bit?
No, honestly, I think I won three rounds, but you have to go out there and make it more clear. When you get into the cage and you're fighting, right, you get into that, I feel like striking. Let's keep going. I was doing well with it. Let's keep going. If your coach is trying to get you to focus on the game plan again, it's like, man, I'm doing well with it. You're thinking you're doing better than you are. Every fight, you gain something from it, right?
Sean O'Malley took a step back to look at the broader picture. For him, the stakes of this matchup went beyond the title on the line. He believed the outcome could open doors for blockbuster showdowns in the future, such as Islam against Ilia Topuria. O'Malley also emphasized Maddalena's chaotic edge, noting that if Jack managed to stuff takedowns and create space, the fight could spiral into a brawl where single explosive moments might change everything.
Islam relinquish his belt and go up to 170. Got JDM taking on Islam Makhachev.
I still think Islam's skill for skill is just so high level. For him to go out there and do what he did against Belal was very impressive, made that Islam fight more interesting. If JDM can shut him down and throw those hands, but Islam's boxing is underrated. That dude is slick. His kickboxing, his timing, he's a high level black belt in every aspect of MMA.
Who gives him?
Jack versus Islam, I think, is huge. Not as big as Ilia versus Islam, but who knows? Maybe they both win and Islam comes back down to 55 and the fight's even bigger.
Jack Hermansson brought a more measured perspective. He praised Islam as perhaps the best pound-for-pound fighter at lightweight, but he questioned whether that same dominance would transfer to welterweight. At the same time, he recognized Maddalena's progress, especially after his win over Belal Muhammad, which had shown just how fast the Australian was rising. Still, Hermansson stopped short of putting Jack in the elite category just yet, suggesting that while he was promising, he needed a few more big tests to truly cement his place among the division's best.
Yeah, it's so hard because you never know when people are changing weight classes. But in lightweight, Islam looks like unbeatable. It's just maybe the pound for pound best. It's just looks so insanely good. But can he do it in a weight class above? I'm not sure. Really hard to predict a fight like that. I think I still have to say Islam.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. We need to see a few more fights with Jack. It looked amazing against Bilal, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's something about Islam is just so good.
Colby Covington took a different route by focusing on the physical aspects of the matchup. He pointed out that at lightweight, Islam always had a built-in size advantage, something you wouldn't enjoy against larger welterweights. That being said, Covington leaned toward Islam because of his completeness of the game. The Dagestani's ability to blend striking and wrestling so smoothly gave him tools that were harder to counter. Even Covington admitted that this fight carried uncertainties, and the unpredictable nature of the matchup was part of what made it so compelling.
Islam versus JDM, what do you make of that? Islam moving up to now welterweight?
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. You know, Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I mean, I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev like 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
Charles Oliveira offered insight from personal experience. Having felt Islam's crushing top control in the past, he understood how suffocating the Dagestani style could be. But Oliveira also acknowledged Madalena's calm and measured approach, particularly his striking style, which chipped away at opponents over time. He believed that if Jack could drag the fight into the later rounds, Islam might face a type of challenge he hadn't yet experienced in quite the same way.
O que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Madalena e o Islam?
Madalena, ele é jogo muito complicado, porque ele é cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. Foi o que ele fez agora na luta contra o Bilal. Só que eu acho que o Islam vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Madalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Islam agarrar e botar pra baixo é o time.
Israel Adesanya shared thoughts rooted in his own battles against wrestling heavy fighters. He believed Madalena's path to success would come from keeping the fight upright and disrupting Islam's rhythm with striking. However, Adesanya also made it clear that Islam's ability to shift gears at any moment meant Jack would need complete focus. One mistake, he warned, could lead to a grappling exchange that flipped the entire contest.
I think Della is going to get it done. I feel from talking to Tim and also seeing Della, and also I've only spotted Della once, not really hard crazy, but and I didn't try and take him down at all, but I've seen him at your gym sparring, and his scrambles are crazy.
Yeah, he's good.
Even watching him with Bilal as well, and Gilbert Burns, his scrambles are crazy, and I feel Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because when he puts some things on him, he's like, oh, I'm standing with this guy, I have to take him down. And then he tries, gets him down, and he gets back up, or he couldn't get him down, because he's a big dude. People don't realize how big Della is as well. He's solid. So I really
dense, man, just dense.
Dense, yeah. Like when I felt, like I said, we're sparring, and then it's just a weight behind it, and the way he throws it, the body banging, man, good.
Gilbert Burns reminded everyone that the toll of weight cutting, he felt Islam's move to welterweight could actually benefit him by eliminating the extreme strain of shedding pounds. Yet Burns also highlighted Madalena's corner, stacked with elite minds like Craig Jones and Alexander Volkanovski. In his eyes, this was far from a simple fight, as both men carried unique advantages into the cage.
Islam is working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. I've proven himself. He's #1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Madalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're going to have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think. And JDM has a clear shot on beating.
George Masvidal jumped in with a different take, suggesting that Islam might actually be walking into a trap at 170 pounds. Masvidal argued that while Islam had been dominant at lightweight, moving into a division full of naturally larger fighters could expose weaknesses that had never been visible before. He leaned toward Madalena, pointing to the Australian's fearless style, aggressive nature, and ability to shine on short notice as reasons why an upset could be on the cards.
I've seen Islam, bro. He's a big guy. He's sucking out a lot of weight to get to 55. I think he might start doing better at 70. Problem is though, Jack is special. We're gonna see just how special he is if he beats Islam Jack, #1 pound for. Wow, that's impressive. You know, I'm leaning towards Islam, brother.
Oh, really?
You know, but I really think it's gonna be a tough fight for him, but a great fight, man.
Jack was able to defend takedown attempts by Bilal.
Bilal has the best cardio in MMA, but Bilal doesn't have Islam's technique. Not same technique. Not same. Very good, very aggressive. Bilal never stops a dog. Attack. But Islam is like smart, man. Boom. You know, Islam's level of wrestling is above. His stand-up game is improving. I don't think he could go stand-up in the beginning with Jack. Jack has way better hands, way better range, faster, stronger. But as the rounds go on later and later, he could do.
Stephen Thompson shifted the focus to timing. He acknowledged Madalena's skills, but warned that the Australian might be stepping into too much. With names like Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Gary waiting in the wings, Thompson felt that Madalena's quick step into a title fight could rub others the wrong way. For him, Jack's potential was undeniable, but the risks of such a rapid rise were equally clear.
Yeah, who do you think wins that fight between Islam and Jack Della Maddalena?
Well, first off, I gotta say, if I was Shavkat Rakhmonov or Ian Gary or somebody that is right there who's really worked hard to get there, I'd be pretty pissed. Because, you know, this guy, JDM, just got the title, and then he's giving somebody else a shot at what I've earned the right to have, you know, which is the title shot. Like, give JDM a shot at, you know, give him 1 or 2 more guys. If he beats them, then give him somebody outside the division. But I would be kind of pissed. I would be kind of upset that they're giving this guy immediately somebody from 155 division. Now, I think it's a very tough fight for Islam Makhachev. Bigger guy, somebody who won the title from somebody with a similar style in Bilal Muhammad. I do believe Islam Makhachev striking is a lot better than Bilal Muhammad's, but their pressure, their cardio, their wrestling background, fairly similar. Obviously, I think one would be better than the other, but he's faced somebody a lot exactly like him. So I think it would be a tough fight for Islam for sure.
From Cormier's shock at the odds to the wide spectrum of opinions across the MMA landscape, the fight between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena has become one of the most debated showdowns in recent memory. Some see Islam's proven skills and newfound freedom at a higher weight as the difference maker. Others look at Maddalena's size, intelligence, and resilience as the recipe for an upset. What's clear is that this matchup isn't nearly as straightforward as the betting lines suggest. The moment the cage door closes, every theory will be put to the test, and only then will fans learn whether Islam's dominance truly extends into a new division, or if Maddalena's rise continues with another statement win.